In the late hours of the night, David sat alone in his room, engrossed in his Discord chat with a group of online friends. The conversations ranged from gaming strategies to shared interests in movies and music. It was a familiar and comforting routine that allowed David to escape the stresses of the real world. As the clock neared midnight, David's friends began to sign off one by one, leaving him as the sole inhabitant of the virtual room. The room fell into an eerie silence, broken only by the soft hum of his computer. David leaned back in his chair, feeling a slight unease settle in the air. To his surprise, a new user with a mysterious username appeared in the chat. Their messages carried an air of enigma, as if shrouded in a dark aura. David's curiosity got the better of him, and he engaged in a conversation with the stranger, asking them how they had gained access to the chat. The stranger's responses sent shivers down David's spine. They possessed an uncanny knowledge of his private life, speaking of personal details that only a select few should know. Fear began to take hold of David as he desperately tried to piece together the puzzle of this enigmatic figure. With each passing message, the stranger's tone grew more menacing. They spoke of secrets David had buried deep within his past, secrets he had never shared with anyone. Panic welled up inside him, and he felt a growing sense of vulnerability. Suddenly, the room grew colder, and David noticed a chill breeze sweep through, causing the hairs on the back of his neck to stand on end. His computer screen flickered, displaying distorted images that sent a jolt of terror through his veins. The stranger's threats became more explicit, promising dire consequences if David didn't comply with their demands. Trapped within the confines of his room, David's instinct urged him to disconnect from Discord and seek refuge from the nightmare unfolding before him. But as he reached for the power button, a surge of electricity coursed through his body, rendering him immobile. The stranger's voice echoed through his speakers, filling the room with an unsettling resonance. The walls seemed to close in, and the room transformed into an oppressive labyrinth of shadows. David could hear whispers, their malicious intent seeping into his consciousness. Every sound, every movement heightened his senses, amplifying his terror. With trembling hands, David tried to reach for his phone to call for help, only to find that the device had become unresponsive. Panic consumed him as he realized that he was cut off from the outside world, isolated in his own personal nightmare. Summoning his courage, David closed his eyes, mustering all the strength he could find. He uttered a fervent plea for protection, for an escape from the clutches of the stranger. When he opened his eyes, he found himself back in the safety of his room. The oppressive atmosphere had dissipated, the whispers silenced. Relieved but forever changed, David severed his connection to Discord, vowing to be more vigilant in guarding his online presence. Yet, deep down, he couldn't shake the lingering fear that the stranger, lurking in the shadows of the digital realm, would always be there, a constant reminder of the potential dangers that lie behind the screen.